Good morning, everybody. Welcome to DIY Wellness. We're just going to give it a moment. We're going to let Instagram catch up, and when it does, we will officially begin. So just give us about 30 more seconds to let this thing come online and get started. And there we go. It's almost ready. Come on, Instagram. I see you trying. All right. Okay. We are live everywhere. So good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of DIY Wellness. I'm your host, Brian Hogan, life coach, filmmaker, and clinical therapist, and founder of the S.H.I.F.T model. And what we like to do on this show is explore different strategies for improving quality of life and well-being. You can just take what resonates and toss the rest. And today what I want to talk about is making friends with your inner saboteur, because we all have this. We all have these patterns where we know what's right. We know what's best for us. And we end up reaching for the cookies anyway, or going back to the bottle, or whatever it is for us that's some form of addiction or self-sabotage pattern, showing up late all the time for things, whatever it is for us. And meeting our inner saboteur and making friends with our inner saboteur, as counterintuitive as that sounds, is actually the way to help that sabotage pattern relax back. Because we're told something about healing that sounds really nice. And it's also completely misleading. We're told, do the work and you'll find peace. Heal and your life will flow. Align and everything will fall into place. And we hear that and we think, oh, okay, so eventually this gets easy. But if you've been on this path for any amount of time, you know that that's not how it works. Because just when you think you've handled something, it shows back up out of nowhere. A pattern you thought was gone takes over again. A behavior you thought you had moved past is suddenly running the show now. And the immediate reaction we have to things like this is, what the hell? I thought I dealt with this. Why am I back here? And so the thing to understand about this is, first of all, we all go through it. This is normal. It is not a failure. The system, your system, it's working exactly as it was designed to work. Your brain is not trying to evolve as fast as your identity is. Your brain is trying to keep you safe. Your identity, your ego, your personality, that's trying to evolve. And as it should, that's a beautiful journey to be on. But your brain, your nervous system, it doesn't care about any of that. It's just trying to keep you safe. So old patterns are stored as implicit memory, and they're state dependent, and they reemerge when conditions feel familiar. So when something inside you gets activated, the activated part doesn't ask, is this still true? Let me consult reality and double check. It asks, have I seen this before? And what did we do to survive it? And then it does it. And so your system doesn't care if something is outdated. It just cares if something is familiar and if something has been effective in the past. Even if it's not effective in the present, sometimes our parts haven't gotten the update. And that's why these parts feel like they sneak up on you. They don't sneak. They've been there the whole time. They're just waiting for the right conditions to come out and protect you and try to keep you safe in the way they know is best, which often feels like some kind of self-sabotage. There's a line from the Bible from, I don't remember where it is exactly, but it says something to the effect of, like, you have to trust in the Lord because the heart is wicked and desperately sick. And that line has done a lot of damage because we hear that line and we think, oh, I'm broken. Okay, my inner world is bad. I can't trust myself. But the truth is, that's a misunderstanding. Wicked, in this case, doesn't mean evil. It means tricky, because your inner world is tricky, not in a villain way, in a creative, adaptive, survival-oriented way. And desperately sick, that's not condemnation. It's a description. Our hearts are desperate because they're not being listened to, and they get sick because they've been excluded from the system. So then what does the heart do? It gets louder. It gets more intense. It results to extreme strategies. And eventually it finds a way to have parts take over. The parts of you that sabotage you are not trying to hurt you. They are trying to help you, but they're doing so with outdated information, trying to get you to come back to a heart-led place. So the thing is, we heal in a different way than what most approaches say. Most approaches say, fix the pattern, eliminate the behavior, and get rid of the part. But what actually works is the opposite. You don't heal by rejecting parts of yourself. You heal by including more of yourself. So the parts that are causing us any kind of friction, self-sabotage, anxiety, anything like that, they don't need correction or suppression or control. We've tried that. We've been doing that our whole lives. They need attention, understanding, and connection. In IFS, we know that parts relax when they feel seen. In polyvagal theory, we know that safety changes the state of being. And so when your parts start to feel more safe, not judged, not angered with, but safe, the state changes. Your state changes. Buddhism says suffering softens when it's allowed. So we want to create this place of like non-resistance to our parts, even to the parts that cause us to sabotage ourselves. That's where it gets sticky here, because we're like, well, I shouldn't give in to that part. Like, it's sabotaging me. We're not talking about giving in. We're talking about noticing its presence, noticing that it's there. And instead of saying, oh, why are you here showing up? You go, oh, okay, you really do want to have that sugar right now. You do. I get that. I feel that. I'm just going to be with you. Whether you end up having the sugar or not, I know that you're struggling, and I've got you. And you just show up for yourself. So the goal is not to stop the parts from showing up. The goal is that when they show up, you arrive, your real self, your true nature, and then they don't have to take over. You can be in relationship with those aspects of who you are. We're going to do in a few minutes here a shift practice in experiential for about 10 minutes to help bring this home so you can have the felt experience of what it's like to connect with the parts that sabotage you while also transcending your anger, frustration, and judgment about those parts. So the thing is, this showed up for me recently, and that's why I'm talking about this today. So it took over. I have a part. I call him Buster, and he's a part of my mind that likes to sort of rush to get things done. And he totally took over on me over the last 2 weeks, starting to believe the lies that he believes that I know are not true. I know that productivity doesn't equal my value and worth. But Buster sometimes forgets, and he doesn't get that message. And then I'm going fast and working hard, and I burn out. And after that happened to me. 2 weeks I went strong, and then on Friday I ended up like canceling some plans I had, and I wasn't sure why I was canceling. I just had this intuitive nudge, like, oh, I shouldn't go into the city today, and so I stayed back. And then I was ready for like, oh, what might the universe have in store? Because I'm always sort of like, when an intuitive nudge happens to me, I'm like, oh, okay, I've got to have my antenna up about what this could be and sort of stay alert for the signs. And what ended up happening was I fell asleep and I slept for 8 hours. And I realized after that, and then I rested throughout the weekend deeply and realized, oh my gosh, I had let Buster take over. And that's what I noticed. And I noticed that this time around, instead of being super angry and disappointed and upset with myself, which is what I have done in the past when I've sort of fallen off any kind of wagon, whether that's a sugar wagon or a workaholic wagon or whatever. But this time I just returned to my parts, to Buster, and I was like, I see you. I see how hard you were trying to work for me over the last 2 weeks. You lost sight of some truths that we know. And I just updated Buster again about how he's valuable already, and we're valuable already, and we don't need to rush. And I've had a shift. And so instead of fighting these parts, we're going to meet them. That's what we're going to do now for the last 10 minutes here, is we're just going to practice the shift. Like what I went through over the weekend when I returned to myself, instead of scorning or judging or being angry at Buster for taking over, I just welcomed him. And I said, I see you there, and I see why you did this. And I understand that you needed my attention. And things are different for me now. I'm able to head into this week feeling different because Buster feels different. So take a breath. Let your shoulders drop and bring to mind a recent moment where something took over, okay? A reaction, a pattern, a behavior. And just notice where you feel that in your body. And we're going to begin tapping. So we'll begin tapping on the side of your hand. And just remember that this shift practice is a repeat after me, and it's an eyes open practice. So you don't have to worry about remembering the tapping points or figuring out what to say. However, if anything I say doesn't resonate fully with you or with your felt sense of the truth, then just switch the words to something that feels abundantly, fully true for you. And if you're comfortable with the tapping points and you want to close your eyes, that's totally allowed. So you do you. Even though part of me takes over sometimes, I acknowledge that part. Even though it feels like it comes out of nowhere, I honor that it's here. Even though I don't always understand it, I'm open to noticing it. Top of the head. This part that takes over. Eyebrow. This hijacked feeling. Side of the eye. It comes out of nowhere. Under the eye. It runs the show. Under the nose. I lose control. Chin. This pattern again. Collarbone. This familiar takeover. This part is welcome right now. Under the arm. Okay, just pause and take a nice deep breath in. You can let your hands rest on your heart if that feels aligned, and just tune into this part. And when this part shows up, this takeover part, what does it actually do? Just notice that. Just tune into that. Keep tapping on the side of your hand. And when you're ready, we're going to meet the part that sneaks up. This could be the same as the part that takes over or slightly different. Either way, we're just going to welcome this part here. And if it's the same part, allow yourself to be with it more deeply. If it's another part, the part that sneaks up, just welcome that part into, allowing yourself to send and feel compassion for these parts of you that go through this. Even though part of me feels sneaky or unpredictable, I acknowledge that part. Even though it shows up when I least expect it, I honor that it's trying to help. Even though it feels frustrating, I'm open to understanding it. Top of the head. This sneaky part. Eyebrow. It shows up suddenly. Side of the eye. It catches me off guard. Under the eye. It shifts everything. Under the nose. I didn't see it coming. Chin. This surprising pattern. Collarbone. It's been here all along. Under the arm. It's trying to do something for me. All right, stop tapping there. Close your eyes and just reflect on what this part might be trying to protect you from. Just see what comes up. Your parts can't get this wrong. We're going to take a moment now at this third round. We have 5 rounds total, so we're about halfway through. And we're just going to invite in the part that we thought we dealt with, the part that we thought we'd handled. This could, again, be the sneaky part, or it could be the part that takes over, or it could be another part altogether, and that's okay. Just allow and acknowledge what shows up for you. Even though I thought I dealt with this part, I acknowledge that it's still here. Even though I feel frustrated that it came back, I honor that reaction. Even though I don't want this pattern anymore, I'm open to meeting it. Top of the head. I thought this was gone. Eyebrow. I already worked on this. Side of the eye. Why is it back? Under the eye. This frustration. Under the nose. This disappointment. Chin. I should be past this. Collarbone. This part is still here. Under the arm. Maybe this part needs something. And I'm open to that. Okay, stop tapping. Place your hands on your heart if that feels aligned. And then just tune in and see what this part might still need from you that it hasn't received yet. And see what comes up. Just see what comes up for you. You can't get this wrong. Your parts can't get this wrong. And as we move into round 4, second to last round here, we're going to meet the part that lives in the shadows. This is a part of you that maybe disassociates you or blanks out your mind or takes you out of the present moment when things get too rough, distracts you. Again, this could be the same as some of the parts we've been working with or a new part altogether. And either way, just welcome this into your experience. Even though part of me shows up in intense moments, I acknowledge that part. Even though it hides most of the time, I honor its presence and its wisdom. Even though I don't always see it, I'm open to connecting with it. Top of the head. This hidden part. Eyebrow. It stays in the shadows. Side of the eye. It watches for the needed moments. Under the eye. It comes out when things get intense. Under the nose. It carries something important. Chin. I don't usually see it. Collarbone. But it's a part of me. Under the arm. And this part belongs here too. Okay, stop tapping there. Close your eyes. And as you take a nice deep breath in through the nose, just tune into this part that lives in the shadows and see what it might want you to know right now. If anything, see if it's just okay with you putting even a little bit of attention on it. A little bit of your curiosity. We're going to do our final round of tapping, and then we're going to do a short 2-minute visualization to close out today. This round here, we're going to allow all the parts to meet you and to meet each other. Even though these parts can feel overwhelming, I am open to including them. Even though I don't fully understand them, I'm willing to accept them. Even though this is a process, I am open to something softer. Top of the head. All these parts. Eyebrow. The one that takes over. The one that sneaks up on me. The old patterns I thought I dealt with. The hidden ones that check me out when I need. Chin. All trying to help me. Collarbone. None of them are enemies. Under the arm. They are part of my system. Okay, stop tapping there. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and a long, slow exhale through pursed lips. Just imagine these parts gathered together, not scattered, not competing, but just together in the same space. They can be as far from each other as they want to be, but they're in the same space. The part that takes over, the part that hides, the part that surprises you, and the part you thought you outgrew. Now imagine yourself at the center, calm, steady, present, the inner wizard. You're not trying to fix them. You're not trying to get rid of them. You're just seeing them. And as they are seen, something shifts. They don't have to fight for attention. They don't have to take over to be heard. For just a moment, they can feel included. They're welcome here. You can say to them, you can stay. For right now, you can stay. Just take a breath and let that land for you. These parts don't need to be eliminated. They just need to know that they're not alone anymore. So thank you for being here, everybody. If what you heard resonates with you, then please share this video with those who you know might appreciate the message. And if you have any questions about the topics or try anything out, let us know in the comments. Because remember, DIY wellness means do it yourself, but that does not mean that you have to do it all by yourself. I'll be back again next week at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. Until then, keep taking personal growth into your own hands. Much love, everybody. I trust you, humanity.